He's ditched the bow tie, but is addicted to nicotine patches.
I love you.
Let's hear what MSNBC's Tucker Carlson has to say.
Tucker Carlson, I had a guy, I was in Vegas this weekend at the NHRA Drags. I had a guy walk up to me and said, listen, man, you need to pay attention to Tucker. And I go, why I want to pay attention to him? And he goes, because that Nicorette, I was never a smoker, but I was fat. and I've lost 65 pounds in 3 months. I said, yeah, but now you're addicted to nicotine. He goes, I didn't really think about it that way. I'm skinny. That's all I care about. So, now let me ask you a question. If I would, to lose weight, get on Nicorette, now does that instantaneously make me addicted to nicotine?
Yeah,
now?
but it's not just that. See, that's such a glass half empty way to look at it. Okay? Yeah, you lose weight. Yeah, you're addicted to nicotine. But that's not the point. You become a stronger, more potent, more effective man.
Well, being addicted to nicotine, I do?
You're not addicted to nicotine. You're choosing on a daily basis to make yourself better, and you're using nicotine
saying,
to do
I'm not
that.
addicted to child porn, but I'm choosing to touch kids on a daily basis.
Well, yeah, but in this case, but there's a downside to that. It's illegal. It's wrong. Creepy.
But
there's no downside to nicotine.
Well, bullshit. Isn't nicotine? It's not
natural.
It's
not bad for you. That's
it's not natural. It's not natural to your body.
What do you mean it's not natural? A lot of things aren't natural.
When you look at the daily nutritional chart, you got to have a certain amount of this, a certain amount of that.
What do they know?
You got to have a certain amount of vitamin C, a certain amount of
well,
potassium.
It doesn't mean you can't have that. It just means that you top it all off with a little nicotine.
With a little fucking nicotine.
Yeah, it's not bad for you. I was actually for the first time in about 10 years, I went to the doctor. And I said, look, I chew probably 3 or 4 times the recommended daily dosage of nicotine. And he said, that's great.
That's great.
Just be sure you don't smoke cigars.
Yeah, so cigars are really
He really said that it was okay to ingest nicotine through
Absolutely. Of course it's okay. Well, it's okay if you want, your mind to be sharper and your body to be tougher and your whole attitude to be better and women to like you more and men to think you're cool. Yeah, there's nothing, you know what I mean? If you don't want those things.
So there's no absolutely positively not one fucking downside to Nicorette gum.
Well, the jealousy of other people who don't chew it, yeah. But no.
That's crazy.
There's not, I can, personally, given the benefits, I can look past that. But the question is, can you?
I don't know, man. I just got this, I've lost my weight before. I can do it. It'd probably be easier with Nicorette.
How'd you lose? Oh, you back on a diet?
Yeah, I'm back on a fucking diet.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do an hour worth of cardio every day and a little bit of weights.
An hour?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to do 30 to 35 minutes in the morning and between 25 and 35 minutes at night. Yeah.
Does that work?
That does for me when I get my shit together. And, the one thing that hurts me the most is travel. I just...
Oh, tell me about it.
When you travel, you can still chew Nicorette.
That's true.
See, Nicorette goes right with it.
I woke up in Orlando, Florida this morning. The first thing I did at 6:30 in my hotel room was flip on local news and eat pancakes.
Hey, where are you now?
I'm in my office in Washington.
Oh, really?
Why were you in Orlando this morning?
The miracle of air travel. I was giving a speech.
Were you in Orlando yesterday?
I was I landed. I got to my hotel at 1 a.m. and I left Orlando at 9:30 in the morning.
Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround, but I ate like shit the whole time.
Well, next time you're within 73 miles of us, you better be in the studio.
Are you 73 miles from Orlando?
Yeah.
Orlando, not the most charming town in America. No offense or anything.
Spice loves it. I hate it.
I hate it, too. I feel like you got to wipe your feet to step up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, my driver last night kept going on about the rat. I didn't know what she was talking about. I guess
that's Mickey Mouse.
Disney,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of... She said there's a big crystal meth problem in Orlando, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Tampa's a much better town.
Hey, by the way, what did you say to the guy whose wife cheated on him?
Well, at first, we were, he got on the phone, and we were kind of feeling sorry for him. And then we found out, after we got her on the phone, that, he's like one of these needy guys that, she's tried to break up with him several times.
It's definitely not chewing Nicorette.
And he's probably threatened to kill her. And she wants out. She just doesn't need to know how to tell him to do it. So we came to the conclusion that he certainly needs to leave her alone. He called, she turned her cell phone on this morning from just turning it off before she went to bed, and there was 40 missed phone calls from him.
Oh.
Yeah, and he didn't deny that he called her 40 times.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm obsessed with her. I can't let her go. Yada, yada, yada. And so she went over to the house yesterday to try to talk him down or just talk to him. And, within 5 seconds of her walking in, he wants to fuck her. Wait,
but But she's admitted that she had sex with another man.
Yeah, she did, and she can't. And he put, she.
And she was being mean about it too, saying she doesn't even care. She's not making any excuses for it. She just wants out of here.
Well, that's pathetic.
Well,
I mean, that is total. I would have been mean to him too. I mean, no wonder she's cheating on him because he's got no self-respect.
Well, and that's what he says. I don't have any friends we're like, well, listen, go out and get a hobby or go out to the sports bar or something.
There are a lot of women in this world.
Stop feeling sorry.
By the way,
for
women hate you when they do you wrong and you put up with it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Women
because they hate weakness. They're like dogs that way. They can smell it on you, and they have contempt for it. They'll bite you.
She admitted. She said, you know what? I would find Charlie more attractive if he told me to go pack sand, get the hell out of here, and he was out with another.
She said that?
Yes. She said,
She admitted it.
She admitted it. She said, if he would go out and find another girl and tell me to go fuck off, I would find that appealing.
Good for her. Well, she understands herself then. I mean, I love women, but they're extremely primitive. They're basic. They're not that hard to understand. And one of the things they hate more than anything is weakness in a man. It just makes them want to.
That is true. They do not want a pussified.
Damn, Iceberg Slim. I didn't know you had it like that.
No, they just do not want a pussified man. They really don't.
They absolutely don't. And if you like those guys who are like, I don't want to seem jealous, I actually have a friend, totally true story, who I actually hesitate even to talk to him about it on the radio in detail because he's probably listening, but who basically his wife, said, well, would you mind if I hung out, and spent the night at this dude's house? And he's like, well, I mean, no, I'm kind of a liberated guy. And she's like, what, you think I'm going to fuck him or something? And he's like, well, no. Well, of course she did. And then she left, and took the house and the kids and everything. And the lesson here is, if it bothers you, say so. Don't be intimidated. Just say, I'm sorry, you're my wife. You don't get to sleep in the house with some other dude. You can't do that. Not allowed.
And be direct and
completely.
Yeah, be forceful about it.
She had no respect for him. The second he was like, okay. She's like, you're weak. You can't protect me. You're not a good husband. And, I'm going to go off and do the pool boy.
Women like the bad boy persona. Unfortunately, so does Al Sharpton. And you're not doing that too well, Tucker.
No, I'm really not. No, I did fuck that up. And by the way, in fact, I'm in Orlando yesterday, and this guy comes. I'm sorry, it was this morning. I fell asleep on the plane, so it seems like yesterday. This guy comes up, he's like, man, I love you on Bubba. I was like, you really listen? He's like, oh, yeah, every Tuesday.
Man, if you are out and about, all you listeners out there, and you ever see Tucker, make sure you go up and tell him, hey, I love you on Bubba. Bubba Army, you're the man. Bubba's right, though. You need to, hip it up a little bit.
No, but look, everybody, as for Sharpton, everybody has kryptonite, okay, in his life. I mean, I'm sure there's some girl that you always wanted to do in high school, and you don't want to betray your marriage vows, but if you saw her and you had the opportunity, you'd do it now, right? Yep. Everybody has one of those?
Not the girls that we were.
Lori Howard, her name
Lori Howard, okay, right.
Lori, I want MSNBC's very own Tucker Carlson to say, Lori Howard from Warsaw, Indiana.
Lori Howard from Warsaw, Indiana. Come on down! You're the next contestant on the Bubba Show.
Oh, God, I had it so bad for her.
Have you had her on?
No, I have never had her on. I've talked to her, within the last few years, but
how does she look now that she's in her 40s?
Unfucking believable.
Still?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's kind of impressive.
Probably shouldn't talk about it since Heather may be listening.
Okay, but see, you're willing to piss your wife off to talk about it. You can't control yourself, right?
No,
that's how I feel about Al Sharpton.
Well, you want to fuck him?
No, I don't want to fuck him. I just can't help it. Like, I know it's wrong. I know it's bad to pander to a demagogue like Al Sharpton, who has no interest in the truth, only in racial strife. That
he's your guilty pleasure.
It's not even a pleasure. It's more like a compulsion. It's like I can't help I'm like the dude you interviewed. His wife cheated on him. I just keep going groveling back. And you know why? Because Sharpton just deeply amuses me. We had him on one time. We had this. Did you ever see the FBI tape with him getting busted?
Yes, they showed it on HBO. It was great.
Exactly. Okay,
it was great.
We were the first. When I was at CNN, we were the first show to play that on the air. And we had Sharpton on, and it's him in cowboy boots, a leather jacket, cowboy hat,
a cigar,
talking about kilos. So I have him on, and I say, Reverend Al, take a look at this. Guy doesn't even sweat. I say, what do you make of that? First line, he goes, where's the second tape? And I'm thinking, shit, they never told me about the second tape, right? And I said, we're not here to talk about the second tape. We're here to talk about this tape, and what do you make of it? And he goes, you don't even have the second tape, do you? You haven't even seen the second tape, have you? I'm not going to talk about the first tape. Totally speechless. Like, the show ended right there.
Oh, my God.
And it was like 3 hours later before I realized there's no second tape.
Of course there isn't.
Of course not. It's all bullshit.
And he's talking to an FBI agent.
But in like 30 seconds, he had changed the topic of the show from, what is Al Sharpton doing talking about kilos to why is the big bad mainstream media being mean to Al Sharpton? And it was that moment I was like, you know what? I really admire you for your evil.
You're the only
Then he
person.
said, "I'll suck your dick for Nicorette."
What do you think about our man, the man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, saying marijuana is not even a drug?
Yeah, but then he went back on it.
Well, at least he said, "Hey, it's out there." He said it.
He went back on it. Tell me what he said, Chuck.
He said it's not a drug; it's a leaf. And then his office issued this statement saying, "Oh, he says lots of things when he's on TV shows, and he doesn't mean them. He just says them for effect. He's a Hollywood guy."
No, his office said that. He didn't say that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I still think the guy's a fucking weasel. The only thing I ever liked about him is he's so. Did you ever read the New Yorker profile of him?
No, I haven't. I haven't read
Oh my
that.
God. Pull it off Google. He's sitting at the house of some famous, in Mexico City, is some famous Mexican writer. And the guy's son is there. The guy's son's like 18, and he brings his girlfriend. And they're all sitting at lunch out on the patio at this Mexican writer's house. And Schwarzenegger turns to the 18-year-old girlfriend and says, "Do you know what I love about Mexican women?" She says, "What?" And he goes, "They have very furry pussies." Quote. He said that.
But guys, you gotta admit he's pretty cool.
He's cool in that way, but he's just such a, I don't know. He's just kind of, I don't know. He's just a pompous anti-freedom guy.
What would make you think that? His love of Nixon?
Yeah, no, his love of Nixon. Oh, is he a Nixon man?
Oh yeah, he said the reason he got into politics is because he loves Nixon.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. No, I kind of like that about him. I like people who like Nixon.
I think Nixon, man, he would have gone down as a pretty damn good president.
You know what? If he would have done the first thing that he said he was going to do when he ran, which was I'm going to get us out of Vietnam. If he would have actually done that,
Well, he did get us out of Vietnam.
yeah, but he said he was going to do it right away, and he fucking drug his feet and the water drug on. And
The only knock on Nixon is he got busted for the Watergate deal. Other than that, he kicked ass.
Yeah, I think he was kind of a weird, unhappy, creepy guy.
Plus,
but
he was a control freak, man. If somebody would write something bad about him, he'd ban him from being part of the press corps of the plane.
Do you guys know Roger Stone?
No.
The Republican political consultant, really probably one of the darkest figures in American life. Great guy. He has a Nixon tattoo on his back face. He used to work for Nixon. It's fantastic.
No, G. Gordon Liddy admitted on Howard Stern that him and another person, I forget who he said it was, that a columnist for, I believe, the Washington Post was writing bad op-eds about Nixon, and they tried to dose the guy with acid and get him in a car accident.
Oh, I think that was Jack Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, he admitted that. I'm like,
I heard one time somebody was writing bad about him in San Francisco, and the guy was scheduled to be on the plane, the presidential plane, to be part of the press corps,
The media entourage.
and Tricky Dick got him kicked the fuck off.
That is so cool. I don't know. He's kind of an authoritarian. Can I say one thing? I got to go do my show in a sec, but I just got to tell you one thing. So I opened up the New York Times this morning. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I'm like on page A12, and there it is, the West Memphis murders. Did you see that?
Yes, it came across yesterday
I have
afternoon.
to say, man, Brent, you were right. You were on top of that. I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yep.
That's been going on.
Guys, but it turns out it looks like there's a lot of evidence you're completely right.
They're going to get off. That's been going on for well over a decade.
I know. See, it went right over my head. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been studied the case for a long time, and the evidence is just overwhelming that these kids are innocent. It's
That's
overwhelming.
Unbelievable.
It's beyond and to the exclusion of any reasonable doubt.
Now, will they be compensated for that? Will they?
Yes,
will they get a full pardon? Will they be? Will they be?
Not a full pardon. Yesterday, what happened was, just real quickly, their lawyers filed a writ of habeas corpus, which is to get the three kids a new trial. Everything is there. There is new evidence, so there is a reason to give them a new trial. They also want their convictions vacated. They want the federal courts to vacate their convictions in Arkansas, which I think they got a good chance of that happening as well.
Now, how fast could we see them free?
I would say
by the end of the year.
I'd say more like 6 months.
Middle of next.
Yes.
See, we told you about that all the fuck along, buddy.
Man, I am totally impressed. You guys are at the cutting edge.
And we told you Knifeong was going to be disbarred.
Yeah, I was on that. I thought he was going to jail. That guy's such a. I mean, I knew he was.
Is he going to go to jail for that?
He went to jail for 1 day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but still.
But he still went to jail. You don't see prosecutors get disbarred and spend any time in jail.
And so many of them so richly deserve it, but you never see it.
Yeah, believe me, we know one here, Mark Ober.
Yep, and like Phil Abosian in Los Angeles over the McMartin trial.
What's the show about today? An hour and 10 minutes. What's it about?
The show is about, it's not just about politics, it's about life.
It's about weed.
Have you talked about the fake FEMA press conference yet?
Yeah.
How unbelievable is that?
It's unbelievable.
How fucked is Bush?
It is unbelievable. No, this is more about Obama, and Obama's letting me down.
Oh, well, he's not letting me down. I had zero expectations.
How about the latest Mitt Romney? He's really hulking up, isn't it? The latest, I saw something on CNN or something. Or, actually, on MSNBC today, it's talking about Mitt Romney's on a roll.
Oh, my God.
He is on a roll.
He scares me. How about you?
He scares me.
I'm not a big Mitt Romney guy.
Him and Hillary both scare
There's something creepy about that
Is our guy Ron Paul got a chance in hell at all?
Ron Paul does not have a chance in hell. I think I kind of like Fred Thompson.
just because he's he's just slow.
Yeah, he's slow. He seems kind of not that interested in running the country, which I really like.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? You can tell he's used to being catered to.
Yeah, I like that.
He's not used to doing the catering. He's used to being catered to.
See, I support congressional recesses, presidential vacations, filibusters, gridlock, anything that prevents government from doing its job, I'm for.
Yeah, because they don't need to pass any more laws.
Oh, fuck no. No, I'm completely for that. And I can just see him being like the most laid-back, laconic, everything's okay, knock off work at 3:30, do a little golf.
Less government.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like government by apathy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because every time someone gets in there, no matter what his intentions, even Ron Paul would probably pass laws he didn't. Well, probably Ron Paul would.
He'd probably repeal laws.
No, he would definitely repeal laws. You're right. He stands alone in that category. All of them, even Reagan expanded government.
Is there any of these Republicans or any candidates in general that want to go with a national sales tax or anything like that? Have anybody heard any of that?
No, that's too. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. That's an interesting conversation.
I mean, I'd love to have. I've seen Evan Bayh from Indiana once came up with a study that said if you abolished IRS and you had a 1 or 2% user tax of everything we buy. Everything, and you completely get rid of the IRS and all those fucking henchmen and all that bullshit, that I forget that how many trillions of more dollars it would generate from people who do not pay taxes.
It's too fair. See, it's much better to tax. I mean, if you can say, look, you don't really have to pay anything. We're just going to give you goodies and make the 0.1% of 1% of the population that is really rich pay for it. Most people are for that.
And see, I'm not for that. I think it's very fair because the richer people are going to pay more because they're going to buy more expensive things.
Yeah, but I'm totally against the graduated income tax.
No. We're talking about
no income tax at all. There is no tax at all, except there's a 1 or 2 or 3% tax on everything on durable goods. Everything you buy, from the power to your phone bill to the car to the gallon of milk to the Nicorette gum, you pay 1 or 2% more of that. That way, everybody who has cash only jobs, nobody falls through the cracks. Everybody's got to buy something. And then
that's right.
Then
then in the end, I mean, there's no April 15th or no tax returns. None of
and
that.
The burden of collecting the tax now is on the people who the merchant.
Yeah, but we'll never have that because government can't make moral statements under that system. So you know what I mean? So now we try to encourage some behavior, discourage other behavior. We take all these moral stands for the tax code. Cigarette smoking is bad. Therefore, the cigarette smokers have to pay for kids' health care and nonsense like that.
And you know what Ron Paul said the other day was just brilliant. Is he addressed the Federal Reserve. He said that he would get rid of the Federal Reserve and have the U.S. government print money, which they are authorized to do, and not have the Federal Reserve issue it.
Well, he would also return us to the gold standard.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I'm not sure quite how workable that is.
Well, I mean, it's
anything's better than we got now, buddy.
Well, that's probably right. You know what? Maybe I'll come up with the gold standard on today's show.
I'm telling you, man, you should do a whole fucking show on the 1 or 2 or how. Evan Bayh did a research on it.
Yeah, I think Dick Armey did one too. I think Dick Armey and Evan Bayh did one.
And just see maybe hell, those guys aren't doing nothing nowadays. Get them on.
We have Dick Armey on all the time. I like Dick Armey.
And ask them, tell us about the federal user tax. Where now, wouldn't you love it, Tucker? Where at the end of the day, if you make $1,000 a week or $5,000 a week, you literally less your health care expenses or whatever, your 401k, you get all of your paycheck, and then you just pay a little bit more for the shit that you buy.
Yeah, but that would be, I mean, it's impossible to see. They like to jump up and down and yell about the rich. Well, you know what I mean?
But the rich are buying boats and houses and jets that they're paying 1 and 2% and Mercedes. And meanwhile, the guy buying a brand new fucking Daewoo isn't paying hardly any tax at all. Right?
You're exactly right, man. I think I'm totally for it.
Well, won't you fucking research it, buddy?
And I have. I actually went with Dick Armey on his national tax tour in about 1998.
What's that, Manson?
I said that's why it'll never pass, because the wealthy would actually have to pay, and they ain't going to buy that.
Oh, they pay a lot, man. Without rich people, you wouldn't have a country. Period.
Bullshit, man. The rich people have accountants and the rich people are like 18, 19, 20% of their instead of 38, 39.
Yeah, but the overall, the percentage of the federal budget that comes from rich people is overwhelming.
So can you imagine the percentage of the budget would come from rich people when the rich people were out buying skyscrapers and fucking jets and whores and everything? Even
that would
whores.
be fun.
Even tax whores.
Even whores, bitches that are fucking dudes for money, have to go out and buy milk and cigarettes and gasoline. They don't even slip through the Bubba Clem fucking IRS repeal system. Even that greasy fucking Mexican that's picking tomatoes illegally has to buy something, does he not?
He does.
Dude, you're like a Steve Forbes for the new millennium. I like
Forbes.
this. You should run, man.
I tried, and I got 31% of the sheriff vote. I made it to the general election as a
You
Democrat.
got to go bigger, though. You got to go for the House of Representatives.
I don't know. I like this job. But the thing about it is I'm too honest. I couldn't really say what I want. I would, Brendan. I only have one term on me, right?
Yeah.
Like-
No, I don't think you'd make it through a term.
They kick you out.
He wouldn't have been in office.
Shit. All right, I got to go do this show.
We love you, buddy.
You're the best. Thanks, guys.